A few months ago, I talked about an upcoming World War I first-person shooter for mobile devices. This game is called Weltkrieg 1 Firestorm. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to fully release in 2025, but there's going to be tests starting soon, and from the gameplay we've looked at so far, it looks very promising. Up until now, we do not have any good World War era games for mobile devices. Like, some people might say World War Heroes, but I've talked about that game before. It was good back in like 2016, and in 2025, it's severely outdated. That game is set in World War II. We don't even have a single World War I game that's worth playing, and this game is finally going to buck that trend. A few months ago, we took a look at some of the gameplay that they posted on their TikTok, their Instagram, stuff like that. And in today's video, there's a lot more gameplay that they have posted on their YouTube channel, starting off with Battle of the Somme. This was a famous battle in World War I. They have added this battle into the game, and we can take a look at this gameplay that was posted just 2 days ago. This looks very, very good. And for a World War I game on mobile devices, you really can't ask for much more, other than maybe like slightly improved graphics. That's really the only thing I can say. But for a game like this is probably the closest thing you're going to get to Battlefield 1 on mobile devices. I understand it's very different from Battlefield 1, but there are going to be a lot of similarities. You have tanks, you have flamethrowers, it looks like you have an environment that you can actually destroy, wide variety of different weapons, you have trench warfare, you can capture points like that's very famous in Battlefield games, and pretty much everything else. Actually, in the beginning of this video that we're taking a look at, I think the guy was actually using some type of like mounted machine gun or something like that, so they even have that type of thing in this game. I like the UI, I like the HUD, I like the gun models. You know, you have very famous weapons in the World War I era in this game. I'm hoping there's going to be a wide variety of different guns. I even like how they have the fire in the background there. I know it's not the most realistic thing in the entire world, but it just looks cool. It adds to that immersion, and if they just improve that a little bit more, I think it's going to be really cool, because the big thing about World War I is it was just such a different type of environment that you would be fighting in compared to like every other type of war that a video game would be set in. You know, World War II already was extremely different from World War I, and I just don't think many developers really capitalize on this time period. I really think we should have more games to play for mobile devices that are set in this time period. And yeah, it even showed us a little bit of tank gameplay. That is very, very exciting. So, next video I'd like to show you all is what they just say, the most realistic World War I mobile game. I mean, that's true. It pretty much is, because you don't really have any other thing that you can play. So, I mean, by default, it is going to be the most realistic one, but at least they didn't really cheap out on a lot of stuff. Again, all they really need to do is just improve the graphics a little bit more. I think that's really all you need to do to just make people want to play this who have played other games that have really good graphics like Arena Breakouts, Delta Force, stuff like that. Obviously, since we haven't played the game yet, we don't really know how the gameplay actually feels. It could be slow, it could be sluggish, and I do think the developers are probably going to watch this video. All you need to do, and this is the thing that I have said to so many developers, is just play the most popular mobile first-person shooters that are already out. See how they feel, see the ones that are the most popular, that the people like the most, and try to replicate that. Obviously, you probably can't directly copy the gameplay mechanics, but there are many games out there that just completely miss the mark there, and the gameplay is the most important thing, you know? You can release a game with subpar graphics, but if the gameplay is literally the best gameplay out there on a mobile game, then people are going to want to play it, because they're used to mobile games not even having the best graphics in the entire world. What this video is, it's actually pretty cool, is they're showing the development process of this World War I game. And it's kind of like a speed run, I guess they called it, but looks like there's a lot of detail that they have added here. I like that. You know, you can't really have an empty looking map here. You have to have your no man's zone. What is that called? No man's zone? I don't really remember the name of that. It's that area that's in between the two sides that are fighting, you know, in World War I. And I think, you know, destruction is an absolute necessity, at least for certain things in this game. I think we saw that, but if not, then you got to add destruction. at least, you know, you can break down like those fences with the tank, maybe knock down some of the smaller trees, stuff like that. That adds to that immersion a lot. I don't know if you want to go all out and have the ability for a tank to like knock down a building and stuff like that. That might be very complicated for a very small development team. That's the type of stuff you would expect to see in like a Tencent game. But then again, some of the smallest dev teams can make some of the best games out there. Take a look at like Firefront, for instance. I don't even know if Firefront is still being developed, but at least the version that we have right now, that game is very, very impressive for a very, very small dev team. Obviously, there's not really that much else in this video here. I just wanted to show you all a little bit of what they were showing. I mean, they have added so much detail here. And it's kind of nice to be transparent with your audience so people can actually see what it takes to make a game like this. This is the British Grenadier in action. I have no idea what this is, but what I find very interesting is it seems like you can switch between first person and third person, at least at certain points. I don't know if that's just like certain classes, you know, potentially just the Flamethrower guy and the Grenadier, but it might be one of those games that you can play in both first person and third person as well, which isn't a bad thing. I see so many people that are like, oh, a game should only be in first person, or oh, it should only be in third person. But for me, I think every game should have both of those options, just because then that allows the most amount of people to be able to play the game. It's not going to like alienate certain people. I don't think people playing in first person should go up against people playing in third person, because people that play in third person a lot of times have a very big advantage over first person people. Games like Battle Prime, I think, do it wrong. But if you can play certain matches in third person and certain matches in first person, I think that's a really, really good thing. It looks cool, though. It looks like there's lots of action going on all over the place. It's not a very boring-looking battle that you're fighting in, and that's something that a lot of games kind of struggle with. They make it pretty boring, especially the World War era games. Looks like this here is that same map, the Battle of the Somme. They're just showing like an aerial view over the map. This says that this is an early version of the game map, and it's not going to represent the final result. Obviously, that makes sense. We see a little bit of like buggy things here. But even the version that we're seeing right here, for me, I don't think it looks bad. I don't really know how many people are in each side. I would hope you have a decent sized team for both sides. I think for Battlefield type games, or, you know, maybe a World War I game, I guess I should say, they need to have like bigger teams. But maybe there's going to be different maps that are bigger and smaller, and that depends on the number of players that you'll have on each team. Like maybe that Somme map looked a little bit small. Maybe it's not going to have that many people, but like, say this map is bigger, then there might be more people fighting. I don't know. I have no idea the size of this map either, but I like it. I really like that they captured that dreary, bleak aesthetic of World War I, where it's raining, it's dark, it's depressing. You're not going to have bright green trees and grasses and make it look all nice and cheerful. Obviously, some battles will look like that. I'm sure if you went back to World War I, there were some battles fought in very lovely fields of Germany and France and stuff like that. But in an area that there's already been a lot of fighting for months, it's going to look like that if you went back to World War I. And they captured that well. I like the rain. I actually like the rain a lot. I think that's really cool. I think there's other things that they could probably add, maybe like planes flying over the map, doing like strafing, bombing, stuff like that. That could be a really cool thing.
In today's video, the development team wants to show you the gameplay of the sniper class. You can support the game's development on Patreon and Boosty to gain early access to builds and other exclusive bonuses. Check out the links below. Thank you to everyone who supports us.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know they would actually be talking in the video, but that is something that I should mention. They do have a Patreon that people can support to help with the development for a game like this. And I would support this game. I don't see any reason why I wouldn't want to support this game. I don't really know much about the developers, but just looking at the game on the surface, it looks very promising to me personally, and I would want to support something like this. You know, with games like this that are not going to be attached to a big development team like Tencent or NetEase, even Activision, EA, stuff like that, it's very, very hard to get the funding to be able to develop a game like that. That's why so many of these indie games, these smaller games, take such a long time, because the people making them might literally be, you know, working a different job potentially, and they might run out of money. They have to wait a whole month for their next paycheck, then they can continue developing the game. I don't really know how it is with this game, but any support that the developers get will speed on the development faster and faster. I also like how the trees have like burning effects as well on the trunks. That would make sense. It's telling me there's a new video found. That's great. Thank you for letting me know that, computer. That's literally the video that I'm recording right now. But yeah, I think some other things that this game should have, I think it should probably add some type of offline mode. I think that's always a great thing. I don't know why games don't offer that anymore. It seems like every game requires you to log in immediately to be able to play anything. And I would just love if you could just play as a guest offline if you wanted to. That just would be so nice. Imagine if you're on a plane flight, you know, and your favorite game in the entire world is Delta Force. Well, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to play it, all right? Even if you're using plain Wi-Fi, it's probably not good enough to be able to play the game. If you had an offline version where even if you played against bots, maybe you could make the bots very difficult and make it simulate a real multiplayer match, then that's just so nice to me personally. I think this game should have that. That would be a really, really cool feature. And that would also be beneficial to some of the lower-end device users that might have, like, not great internet. They can still enjoy this game even if they are playing it offline. It just covers all the bases. As I said, the same thing with first person and third person. The gameplay looks really good, though, in all honesty. I mean, I even like everything right down to the buttons, how they look in this game. I think the health bar, they might want to, like, improve what that looks like a little bit at the bottom right there. I'm not sure what P is. This button that says P, it could be prone, potentially. I would maybe guess that that's prone because you have a jump button, you have a crouch button, and then maybe the P is prone. But I'm not 100% sure. We also have another gameplay right here. Very short 50-second gameplay where this is actually from a few months ago, so it looks like it's already been improved since that point in time. Yeah, dude, look, we can see the improvement from the beginning of the video to now. Like, the gameplay already looks better now compared to this video, and this video was from about, like, 3 months ago. So that's very exciting. Very, very impressive. Look at that. You can even throw ammo boxes down. If you're a medic class, probably you can throw down health, that you can heal up your teammates and stuff like that. This very much looks like a pretty, you know, very alpha, pre-alpha version of the game. But, oh yeah, there you go. Here's all your classes right there. Assault, Heavy, Medic, Sniper. And then a special fighter is available, the Flamethrower. I guess that's probably what the Grenadier is as well. That's like your special fighter. Not bad. Not bad. Then there's 2 more videos I'd like to show you all. This is some more Flamethrower gameplay, in case you didn't see my last video.
The development team is excited to show you how the gameplay with Flamethrower class looks. We've worked hard on it, and we'd really appreciate your feedback. You can support the development on Patreon and get unique bonuses, and thank you to everyone who supports us.
I mean, honestly, sounds very genuine to me. They're not begging for money. They're just saying, hey, if you want to support us on Patreon, cool, that's great. We would appreciate that. I like the Flamethrower, though. Look at that. It even sets other things on fire. They could have done it the easy way and just only set people on fire, but you can actually set environments on fire. And I think what would be really cool is if there was wooden environments, like those barrels right there, or fences, you could set them on fire, and then they would burn and disappear. That could be a cool thing as well. Maybe something for later on down the road. You can actually destroy environments with your Flamethrower.
Hello, subscribers. We are a small team
your
of 3
Grenadier.
developers with big ambitions. Our goal is to create an atmospheric mobile shooter set during World War I. Now you can support the development of the game on Patreon. By joining, you'll get access to unique bonuses that are exclusive to our supporters. You can find the link to our Patreon in the bio. Thank you for your support.
I like the tank gameplay. That looks really cool. Look at that, dude. I think some tanks should probably have 2 types of guns, you know, like your machine gun and then like your bigger gun. Though, I don't know. I'm not sure if World War I even had that. Maybe the tanks weren't advanced enough. You might only have had one gun. Obviously, I'm sure they've done a lot of research and figured out what types of weapons were in World War I, the tanks, other stuff like that. That's another very important thing. Make it historically accurate. You know, don't add things that were in World War II, for instance, if they didn't exist in World War I. But I'm sure the developers know that. And there we go. So yeah, honestly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go right back to the very beginning video here. We're going to wrap everything up. That pretty much covers everything. That's all of the newest gameplay that I've not shown you all yet. And yeah, I really hope you all did enjoy this video. I hope you're excited for this game like I am. I am very, very excited for this game. I think it's going to be great. And I just hope they continue on developing this game further and further and making a really nice, polished World War I game for mobile devices, because that is exactly what we need. But yeah, that's basically it. Hope you all did enjoy. As I said, leave a like and subscribe. I'm going to link their YouTube channel and their Patreon down below in the description if you want to support them. And that's it. I will see you all in the next episode.